مع إذاعة الجزائر الدولية لن تفوتكم لحظة واحدة من الأخبار السياسية والاقتصادية الهامة. إذاعة الجزائر الدولية، صوتنا في العالم.
تشاهدون برامج إذاعة الجزائر الدولية بالصوت والصورة.
With Radio Algeria International, you will not miss a single major political or economic event. Radio Algeria International, our voice in the world.
This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has chaired a meeting of the Council of Ministers devoted to the examining of draft laws on the prevention of drugs and psychotropic substances and on integrating contractual teachers. The National Observatory of the Civil Society in the African Union Counter-Terrorism Center has signed a memorandum of understanding and cooperation marking a new milestone in strengthening the African continent's capacity to prevent terrorist threats. Scores of Palestinians, mainly women and children, were killed in bombardments carried out overnight by the Israeli occupying forces against the central southern areas of the Gaza Strip. Hello and welcome on Radio Algeria International. I'm Mariam Bershi. The President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Minister of National Defense, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has chaired a meeting of the Council of Ministers devoted to the examining of the draft law on the prevention of drugs and psychotropic substances, as well as presentations on several sectors. Asya Bekkar reports.
With regard to the integration of contractual teachers, the President of the Republic approved the integration of 82,410 contractual teachers into the various education cycles, thus fulfilling his commitments to the education community in recognition of the fundamental role of teachers in the training and protection of future generations. On the international consultation on the importation of livestock for Eid al-Adha festival, President Tebboune approved the importation of 1 million head of livestock in anticipation of Eid al-Adha. The importation of these cattle will exempt from taxes to ensure that prices are affordable for the public. To enable the members of the community abroad to spend the Eid al-Fitr with their loved ones, the Council of Ministers has approved reductions of 40% on all destinations to Algeria through Air Algérie. With regard to the prevention of drugs and psychotropic substances, the President said that Algeria is facing an undeclared war whose weapon is drugs in all their forms, targeting it from its western and southern borders, waged by the forces of evil to weaken generations of young people and shatter the scale of Algerian social values that our country is striving to preserve. President Tebboune ordered further study on debate of national strategy on the draft law on the prevention of drugs and psychotropic substances, the draft law and national prevention strategy being a matter of national security. With regard to the roadmap for diversifying energy sources for electricity production, the President instructed the government to adopt an integrated vision based on developing investment in the energy sector and exporting the surplus, given that Algeria's energy industry has proved its efficiency. He stressed that investment in energy must be profitable for Algeria once it has achieved energy self-sufficiency. In the future, Algeria will undertake research and international partnership to adopt new clean energies using Algerian skills and expertise. The President encouraged Sonalgas to play a leading role at regional and continental level, given its capabilities and highly qualified personnel.
The Speaker of the People's National Assembly, Mr. Brahim Boughali, has announced here in Algiers that an ad hoc committee would be set up to draft a bill criminalizing colonization. Mr. Boughali said that the committee would be made up of representatives of all the parliamentary groups in response to the consensus reached by all the political trends on the issue and as a tribute to the memory of our valiant ancestors from the generation of the resistance to that of the glorious liberation revolution. Mr. Boughali has hailed the adoption of the classification of slavery, deportation, and colonialism as crimes against humanity and acts of genocide committed against African peoples.
The issue of criminalizing colonialism has garnered the attention of the Algerian legislator, with at least 5 draft laws submitted by various national political parties represented in the Algerian People's National Assembly. This topic has also attracted significant interest across the African continent, which has suffered more than others from colonial violations and the degradation of human dignity. As a result, the 38th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly of the Heads of State and Government adopted the classification of slavery, deportation and colonialism as crimes against humanity and acts of genocide committed against African peoples.
All the necessary means will be made available to this commission to fulfill its task. It will be able to call on all the skills, experts and jurists interested in questions of remembrance and the crimes committed against Algeria, man in history, during the 1830 to 1962 period. The Algerian writer Yasmina Khadra has stated that the aggressiveness displayed in recent weeks, particularly by French Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau towards Algeria, reflects a deep internal crisis that has shaken various French governments for several years. More details in this report by Essia Bakar.
Speaking to the newspaper L'Humanité, Yasmina Khadra said what is happening politically in France mirrors a deep internal crisis that successive governments in recent years have tried to displace from its true context. The writer highlights the current malaise of a French government that has employed bankrupt ministers, as he put it. The Algerian writer said the French government found in Algeria a culprit to compensate for a certain inability to solve the real problems of the French people. He said the French Interior Minister, Mr. Retailleau, is making a fuss without paying serious attention to its consequences. He said Algeria indeed has problems, but it is trying to overcome them, and its problems have nothing to do with the political excesses of the French state. He added that the failed expulsion of an undesirable Algerian national does nothing to deal with the concerns of the French people. The Algerian author said neither the offensive press articles nor the tense television programs would bring a hint of clarity to this appalling mentality of outrageous provocation. He said the French people want their leaders to work towards the right direction and find solutions to their problems. Let's note that the French Interior Minister's aggressive attitude towards Algeria has been criticized in recent days in France and even within the government to which he belongs.
The Minister of State in charge of Energy, Mines and Renewable Energies, Mohamed Arqab, is paying a working visit today to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, as part of the implementation of the instructions given by the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune. Ms. Sharfi.
During his 2-day visit, Mr. Arqab will hold meetings with several Ethiopian officials, including the Minister of Mines and Petroleum, the Minister of Water and Energy, and the Minister of Trade and Regional Integration, to discuss ways of strengthening bilateral cooperation in the fields of hydrocarbons, energy, mining, and renewable energies. He will also meet with Ethiopian business leaders to explore new opportunities for economic partnership and investment between the two countries. The Minister of State is accompanied by high-level delegation, including the CEO of Sonatrach Group, Rashid Hashishi, and the CEO of Sonalgaz Group, Murad Ajjal, and other senior officials. His visit is part of Algeria's effort to strengthen cooperation with African countries in line with the President of the Republic's vision aimed at promoting strategic partnership to serve common interests and to achieve sustainable development and African integration.
The National Observatory of the Civil Society and the African Union Counter-Terrorism Center have signed a Memorandum of Understanding and Cooperation, marking a new milestone in strengthening the African continent's capacity to prevent terrorist threats. Ms. Sharfi has the details.
The memorandum was signed as part of a symposium organized by the two bodies on the role of civil society in promoting peace and preventing and combating terrorism in Africa. The president of the National Observatory of the Civil Society, Ibtisam Hamlawi, hailed the signing of the memorandum as well as the promotion of a multidimensional joint action plan for 2025-2028, emphasizing that the partnership between the two parties constitutes an important step to strengthening their role of the civil society and reinforcing its commitment to preventing terrorism and violent extremism. She also reiterated the role played by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, in fighting terrorism, particularly in Africa.
The President of the Republic is the African Union's coordinator in terms of the prevention and fight against terrorism and violent extremism. His efforts in fighting terrorism in Africa, whether at the UN Security Council or at the African Union, reflect Algeria's pioneering role on the matter, in addition to his constant and honest efforts to prevent the terrorism scourge, extremism and violence in our African continent.
Let's recall that the signatories of the Memorandum of Understanding Cooperation were the President of the National Observatory of Civil Society, Ibtisam Hamlawi, and the Director of the African Union Counter-Terrorism Center, Idris Munir Lalali.
Moving to the situation in the Middle East, scores of Palestinians, mainly women and children, were killed in the bombardments carried out overnight by the Israeli occupying forces against the central and southern areas of the Gaza Strip. Several others were wounded in the attacks, which targeted the refugee camp of Nusayrat in central Gaza, as well as the nearing areas of the towns of Khan Yunis and Rafah. In this respect, the Médecins Sans Frontières denounced the situation prevailing in Gaza as extremely precarious. It said the Palestinians were lacking adequate shelters and basic services. This came as the head of UNRWA, Philip Lazzarini, denounced the ban imposed by the Israeli authorities on the entry of humanitarian aid into the enclave as a collective punishment against Gaza's population. He recalled that the Palestinian population was lacking basic needs, including food, water, medicine and fuel. Representatives in Moscow and Washington are meeting in the Saudi capital Riyadh for talks to bring about a ceasefire in Ukraine. More details in this report by Asya Bakar.
Russia says a ceasefire is already in place when it comes to attacks on Ukraine's energy facilities. The White House has sent its special envoy for Ukraine and U.S. National Security Advisor to speak with Russian counterparts. The Kremlin says Russia and the United States are seeking to resume a deal to ensure the safety of merchant shipping in the Black Sea, noting that what it saw as key parts of an earlier agreement on the subject were never implemented. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that the Black Sea Initiative, more commonly known as the Grain Deal, was on the agenda in Saudi Arabia. He said that U.S. President Donald Trump had proposed discussing the Black Sea Deal and that Putin had agreed to discuss it. Peskov said this is primarily about the safety of navigation. Turkey and the United Nations helped broker the so-called Black Sea Grain Initiative with a deal reached in July 2022 that allowed nearly 33 million metric tons of Ukrainian grain to be exported safely across the Black Sea despite the war. Russia withdrew from the agreement in 2023, complaining that its own food and fertilizer exports face serious obstacles, saying that restrictions on payments, logistics and insurance have amounted to a barrier to shipments. A 3-year memorandum of understanding was struck in July 2022 that saw UN officials agree to help Russia get its food and fertilizer exports to foreign markets.
You're still listening to Radio Algeria International. Canada's new Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced that early general elections would be held on April 28th against the backdrop of a trade war and high tensions with the United States. The country has been in the midst of a political crisis for months with no confidence motions, a deadlock in Parliament and the resignation of Justin Trudeau as a head of government in early January, all against a backdrop of high unpopularity. The internal crisis has been compounded in recent weeks by rising tensions with the United States since Donald Trump returned to the White House. President Trump has launched a trade war with his neighbor and ally Canada for weeks and has been repeating incessantly that Canada is destined to be the 51st state. South Korea's Constitutional Court has rejected a motion for the impeachment of Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, who thus becomes acting president once again pending the fate of the incumbent Yoon Suk-yeol, who is the subject of the same proceedings. The 8 judges of the court rejected Han's impeachment by 5 votes to 1. Mr. Han had been suspended by the deputies in December after an initial short interim period. That's it for today's news bulletin. Stay tuned on Radio Algeria International. صحفتكم.
Welcome to our radio program where we embark on a journey through the life and remarkable achievements of Abu Bakr al-Razi, a shining beacon of knowledge and innovation during the Islamic Golden Age. Abu Bakr al-Razi, born around 865 CE in the city of Ray, modern-day Tehran, Iran, was a true polymath, a scholar, physician, chemist, philosopher, and mathematician. He emerged as one of the most influential figures in the world of learning during a time when intellectual pursuits flourished in the Islamic world. Al-Razi's insatiable thirst for knowledge led him to pursue education and enlightenment, shaping him into a luminary of his era. His contributions in medicine, chemistry, philosophy, and mathematics have left an indelible mark on the fabric of human understanding. In the upcoming segments, we will explore the different facets of his life, his early years, education, groundbreaking contributions to medicine and chemistry, philosophical beliefs, and the lasting legacy he bestowed upon the world. Join us as we uncover the extraordinary life and discoveries of Abu Bakr al-Razi, a trailblazer whose influence continues to resonate across centuries and disciplines. In this segment, we delve into the early life and education of Abu Bakr al-Razi, shedding light on the formative years that laid the foundation for his illustrious career. Abu Bakr al-Razi was born in the city of Ray, located in the region of Persia, modern-day Tehran, Iran, around the year 865 CE. Little is known about his family or early life, but historical records suggest he came from a modest background. During the Islamic Golden Age, the Islamic world was a hub of intellectual and cultural exchange. It was in this rich environment that al-Razi's intellectual curiosity was nurtured and kindled. As a young scholar, he displayed an exceptional aptitude for various disciplines, showing a keen interest in both the sciences and the humanities. Al-Razi pursued education fervently, absorbing knowledge from renowned scholars of his time and engaging with the vast reservoirs of wisdom found in the writings of ancient civilizations. He sought to combine the teachings of renowned Greek scholars like Galen and Hippocrates with knowledge from Persian, Indian, and Islamic sources. His insatiable thirst for knowledge and a deep-rooted passion for exploration propelled him to travel extensively in search of wisdom and understanding. Al-Razi's journey through the vast landscape of knowledge shaped him into a scholar of unparalleled diversity and depth. Stay tuned as we further explore the incredible contributions and impact of Abu Bakr al-Razi in the fields of medicine, chemistry, philosophy, and mathematics. In this segment, we focus on the groundbreaking contribution of Abu Bakr al-Razi to the field of medicine, cementing his status as a pioneer during the Islamic Golden Age. Abu Bakr al-Razi revolutionized the practice of medicine with his extensive and enduring contributions at a time when the scientific method was in its infancy. Al-Razi emphasized the importance of observation, experimentation, and evidence-based practice. His most renowned work is Kitab al-Hawi, or the Comprehensive Book, an enormous medical encyclopedia that compiled and synthesized medical knowledge from various ancient civilizations. The monumental work, written in Arabic, covered a wide array of medical topics, including anatomy, physiology, pathology, and pharmacology. Al-Razi encouraged a systematic and analytical approach to medical knowledge, advocating for the careful study of diseases and their symptoms. He stressed the importance of understanding the human body's structure and functions in the pursuit of effective medical treatments. Moreover, Al-Razi made significant strides in pharmacy and pharmacology. He wrote Kitab al-Asrar, or the Book of Secrets, an influential pharmacological manual. Al-Razi's approach to pharmacy included the precise preparation of drugs, dosages, and their potential effects on the human body. Al-Razi's pioneering contributions in medicine were instrumental in shaping the development of the scientific method and modern medical practices. His emphasis on empirical observation and experimentation laid the foundation for the evidence-based approach that remains at the core of modern medical research and practice. Join us as we continue to explore the life and accomplishments of Abu Bakr al-Razi, whose work in medicine continues to inspire and inform contemporary medical knowledge. In this segment, we explore the remarkable innovations and advancements that Abu Bakr al-Razi introduced to the field of chemistry, solidifying his position as a trailblazer during the Islamic Golden Age. Abu Bakr al-Razi made significant strides in the realm of chemistry, contributing to its understanding and practices. He greatly emphasized the importance of experimental methods and empirical observations in studying chemical substances. One of his notable contributions was in the field of distillation. Al-Razi improved and refined distillation techniques, a crucial process in separating and purifying substances. His advancement in this area had a profound impact on alchemy, laying the foundations for the development of modern chemistry. Al-Razi explored various chemical substances and their properties, conducting experiments to better comprehend their behavior. He also studied the properties and reactions of various acids and alkalis, expanding the knowledge of chemical reactions and compounds. Furthermore, Al-Razi developed laboratory equipment and procedures, enhancing the accuracy and reliability of chemical experiments. His meticulous approach to chemical research set a standard for precision and thoroughness in experimental methods. Al-Razi's pioneering work in chemistry, with an emphasis of experimentation and systematic analysis, has left an enduring legacy. His contributions were instrumental in shaping the path of chemistry, paving the way for future generations of chemists and researchers. Join us as we continue to unravel the life and discoveries of Abu Bakr al-Razi, whose innovative approach to chemistry has had a lasting impact on the field and continues to influence scientific practices today. In this segment, we explore the philosophical and intellectual legacy of Abu Bakr al-Razi, offering insights into his thoughts and beliefs that transcended the realms of science and medicine. Abu Bakr al-Razi was not only a distinguished scientist and physician, but also a profound philosopher and thinker of his time. He delved into the various philosophical topics, including metaphysics, ethics, and epistemology. In his philosophical pursuits, Al-Razi emphasized critical thinking and rationalism. He encouraged scholars to question prevailing beliefs, seek evidence, and challenge dogma. His approach was marked by skepticism, valuing reason and empirical evidence over blind acceptance of established ideas. Al-Razi explored the nature of existence, the meaning of life, and the intricacies of the human mind. He contemplated questions about the purpose of human existence and the role of individuals in society. Moreover, Al-Razi made significant contributions to psychology, recognizing the importance of understanding the human psyche and behavior. He sought to unravel the workings of the mind and the motivations behind human actions. Al-Razi's philosophical endeavor, characterized by a commitment to critical inquiries and a secret for truth, left a lasting impact on the intellectual landscape of his time and beyond. His philosophical approach continues to resonate in contemporary scholarship and the scientific method. Join us as we continue to uncover the multifaceted contributions and philosophical insights of Abu Bakr al-Razi, a thinker whose ideas continue to inspire and influence the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. In this final segment, we reflect on the lasting legacy and enduring influence of Abu Bakr al-Razi, whose contributions continue to shape modern science, medicine, and intellectual thought. Al-Razi's legacy is one of profound significance. His pioneering spirit, dedication to knowledge, and relentless pursuit of truth laid the groundwork for the scientific method as we know it today. His emphasis on empirical observations, experimentation, and critical thinking remains the cornerstone of scientific research. In the realm of medicine, Al-Razi's comprehensive medical encyclopedia, Kitab al-Hawi, remains a testament to his commitment to advancing medical knowledge. Concepts and methodologies he introduced have persisted through centuries, influencing the development of modern medical practices. In the field of chemistry, Al-Razi's innovations in distillation and experimentation contributed to the evolution of alchemy in modern chemistry. His meticulous approach to understanding chemical substances and reactions has left an indelible mark on the foundations of modern chemical science. Moreover, Al-Razi's philosophical and ethical ideas continue to be relevant. His emphasis on rationalism, skepticism, and the importance of critical inquiry is a guiding principle in contemporary philosophical discourse. The impact of Abu Bakr al-Razi felt not only in the academic realm, but also in society at large. His legacy reminds us of the power of human curiosity and the transformative potential of seeking knowledge and truth. As we conclude this program, we celebrate the enduring influence of Abu Bakr al-Razi, a visionary whose contributions continue to inspire scholars, scientists, and thinkers around the globe. Thank you for joining us in exploring the extraordinary life and discoveries of this remarkable figure in the annals of history.